At this time, our next honoree from the island of Maui. Are you in the house? Yes? One person? Oh, okay, one person back here. There's a Maui table. I see the Yokouchi family. Where are you? They came in all the way from Maui. There you are. Thank you so much for being here. They came here to honor Art Ushijima, our next honoree. If you know the alma mater of Baldwin High School, you may sing along. Art, a graduate of Baldwin and a product of public schools most of his life, is escorted by trustee and former president of Public Schools of Hawaii Foundation, Iris Okawa. Art Ushijima today is president and chief executive officer for Queens Medical Center, a title he's held for 20 years. Before this, he served in the Air Force and as a healthcare administrator for several military hospitals. He traveled all over the mainland for colleges, and his career took him away from the islands for a while, but Art made sure he came home to Hawaii to serve his community. In 2007, among all his many, many accomplishments, Art helped support a $750,000 grant via the Howard Hughes Medical Foundation to Stevenson Middle School to promote science education, problem-based learning, and interest in the healthcare profession. You know, if you know Art, he's always known as a really low-key kind of guy, and it took a lot of arm twisting to turn the tables and honor him tonight. So please welcome our third honoree from Baldwin High School, Art Ushijima.
Well, good evening and aloha. First of all, I'm going to forewarn you that you're going to see some pictures of my younger days. They're pretty gruesome because I had hair. And things have gotten much better with age. Right, Walter? And like Eric, I was not one that enjoyed going to school. And I tried to stay away as often as I could. And it took teachers, very excellent ones, to enable me to graduate. In fact, I did graduate from high school, and in the spirit of transparency with the media, I'm certainly willing to share my high school diploma. Maya, your brother is not the only one who is subjected to things like this. Anyway, this has been an extraordinary evening, and this is the first time I've had the opportunity to be here. And I really found this to be an enjoyable evening and really one that's very revealing. And it's really nice to see, actually I've seen people here this evening that I hadn't seen for really decades. And it's nice to see Cheryl Yokouchi Suzuki and her mother. Cheryl and I are classmates. She's much young, she looks much younger than I do. But she is here this evening, and Cheryl and I were high school classmates. Her husband and I grew up together in Kahului. And Cheryl's dad, Mapundi Yokouchi, was an honoree a number of years ago, so it's nice to see her today. I first of all just want to take the opportunity to recognize and acknowledge the Hawaii Public Schools Foundation because of the work that you've done. And I have to say I was unaware until recently about the work that you have undertaken to support our public schools. And so I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge you and to thank you for all of the work that you do. Those who know me are aware that I'm really not comfortable with public recognition. It's not something that I'm initially seek. It's something that makes me extremely nervous. I'm shaking in my shoes right now because this is not something I normally do. But I'm very humbled by this acknowledgement and wish to certainly congratulate and recognize Lynn and Eric, along with Oceanit, for their achievements and their contributions. I'm very appreciative of the efforts of so many who've organized this event, and so thank you all for being here and giving up your Friday evening to be with everyone here. I really want to also acknowledge my Queens Ohana, who are here to support me and who have been a great support throughout my years at Queens. members of our Board of Trustees, and my colleagues in the administration are here this evening, and thank you for being with me. Let me use this opportunity to also recognize the thousands of teachers and administrators in public schools who dedicate themselves to educating and serving our young. I'm awed by the many challenges you face every day in your daily endeavors. There are so many talented public school students, many of whom you saw this evening, who are a source of pride and who represent the seeds of our future. Being from Maui, I'm especially proud of our neighbor island students, especially when their achievements are recognized. I'm really proud of students like Nolan Kamitaki, who won first place at the Hawaii State Science Fair in 2010. He also placed first at the International Science Fair last year. In 1965, my project at the Hawaii State Science Fair is called Duckweeds and Gibberellins. I think that's what the judges thought as well. It just couldn't match the sophistication of Nolan's project called Gene Dosage and Expression in Human Lymphoid Blastoid Cell Lines. For your information, my project didn't get an honorable mention. But I did get to come to Honolulu. Nolan is a graduate of Waikea High School in the Big Island and is currently a freshman at Harvard. Now, he is someone we all want to watch because I believe he'll be a Nobel laureate one day, and hopefully he'll come home to help his community. In my remaining moment, let me just recognize 3 former public school teachers because I believe they epitomize the spirit of public education and the development of young people. First is my former 8th grade math teacher at Kahului School in Maui, Mr. Kiyoshi Yabui. Mr. Yabui taught algebra, although his first love was his college major of English. So on his time during summers, he taught students English and literature. He stayed after school every day, making his classroom available as a study hall for students and serving as a tutor to many. He taught me the values of excellence and humility and the importance of lifelong learning. At Baldwin High School, Mrs. Misao Kubota, Cheryl, I'm sure you remember her, served as sophomore and junior class advisor and as student government advisor in my senior year. Her caring and her dedication for her students were extraordinary. She made her home available for student meetings and often served as big sister and mentor. By her example, I observed graciousness and kindness and the joy of giving. She was engaging and motivating. She instilled the importance of community service and giving back. The last educator is my wife, Ruth. She was a 2nd grade teacher, not here in Hawaii, but in a little farming community in Tipton, Iowa, when we were first married, and I was a grad student at the University of Iowa. By the way, if you're a teacher, you never forget you're a teacher. This evening, when I was checking my BlackBerry, she confiscated my BlackBerry. I don't have it. I feel naked. That's why I'm nervous. Through her, I saw the hard work and effort teachers undergo, the immense amount of time, outside time preparing lesson plans, correcting papers, addressing special needs of students and sometimes their parents, countless hours and other tasks that most people aren't aware of. She earned a hefty annual salary of $6,700 a year. She purchased needed supplies for her class out of her huge salary because there wasn't enough in the school budget. There was no public schools of Hawaii Foundation in Iowa. She bought Christmas gifts for her kids and lunch money when they forgot. She gave them lunch money. She would spend, if she had more money, she would spend that on her kids. The enthusiastic joy of her students' learning were her inspiration. And the minutest progress from a challenging child was enough to keep her motivated. She clearly taught me the values of commitment and dedication to a worthy endeavor, that there is a gem inside every child, even though some require the grinding work of polishing in order to shine. Queens employs nearly 5,000 people. We depend on a well-trained workforce. Most all of our staff are products of the public education system. Although we do have our token Iolani, Punahou, and other private school graduates. We try to find jobs where they can perform. I need to get that in. And the Queens has a wonderful heritage and mission, established in 1859 by our founders, Queen Emma and King Kamehameha IV. To perpetuate this mission, we must rely on a robust public education system to assure that we have a capable workforce so our patients can receive the best care possible. So to all our educators, thank you so much for your dedication and commitment to serving our young. Mahalo especially to the Public Schools of Hawaii Foundation for your generosity and continuing support, especially in these challenging times. Thank you.
Thank you, Art. Congratulations.